All right, it is time for tonight's Stars and Their Stripes segment. This is where we highlight a real hero who has taken the stripes, who has done the hard work, the heavy lifting in order to become a star. And in honor of October's National Down Syndrome Awareness Month, you all know I have a very special place in my heart for those who have Down syndrome. I've worked in this population my whole life. It's the most rewarding work I've ever done. My sweet little Samuel, whom I adopted, who happens to have Down syndrome, is the light of my life and that of my whole family's. And before I had Samuel, I was a lifelong advocate for those with special needs, volunteering at Camp Wonderland, helping my husband pass laws as a senator to save babies like Samuel from being aborted. It's been my God-breathed life mission to show the world just how absolutely unique and amazing people with special needs are. Now, back in 2020, a young man named Chris, his last name is pronounced Nikic, I want to get it right, became the first person with Down syndrome to complete the Ironman World Championship. Chris lives by this motto: get 1% better every day. This is a motto that helped him achieve his seemingly impossible goal and prove that your dreams are indeed possible if you do what Chris did, and you get 1% better every day. Take a look.
When I was a kid, I was excluded from the other kids because I was different and could not keep up. I started to do sports, and for the first time, I found rock arms and included in the sports community. Getting 1% better every day. I became the first person with Down syndrome to complete an Ironman. My life changed when I started to do sports. Life without sports is boring.
There's a lot of heavy in the world right now, but it is with so much pride and honor that I'd like to welcome in the Iron Man himself, Chris Nikic. Chris, thank you so much for being with us. Also with us is his dad, Nick. Appreciate you both joining me today. Happy to have you.
Thank you so much for having us.
Chris, I want to start off with your story a little bit. Can you tell me what made you decide you wanted to do this? This is a big undertaking for anyone, but tell our audience what made you decide to get 1% better every day. Who inspired you?
Well, that's 2 years I've lost 40 pounds, and I wish that I had someone who would be there with me. And I knew that one day I would complete Ironman. And I could have done it without, like, people around here. I couldn't ask for more better than my dad. There are people around here, Denver and the other state, and I just want to say that I'm truly blessed and grateful that I'm on Skype with you, and
buddy,
I just want to say to you that I'm sorry for your friend. I know it's like, and
Chris, I think she wants to know the dream that inspired you.
Really?
Yeah, that's what she wants to know. Tell her what the dream inspired you to work so hard.
My girlfriend.
Your girlfriend. That's it. That's what you want.
What a typical 23-year-old man you are there, Chris. Nick, I mentioned my own son with Down syndrome. I know parenting a child with special needs, it can be heartbreaking at times because you want to give them the world and you want the world to know great people like your child and how great they are. Sometimes the world isn't so embracing. Tell us a little bit about how you and Chris together overcame that, and what gave you this idea? Was it your own athletic background?
Yeah, good question. So at the age of 18, I saw my son hit the wall like most of our kids who finish high school. They have nowhere to go, and I thought this can't be the end of his life. And an idea kind of came across. I have a 1% Better program that I do as part of my consulting business where I help adults become better every day. And I thought, well, why can't we do that with Chris? So I took the program, simplified it, modified it for him. And what I realized was that Chris's learning style was so much different than anything we'd ever encountered that I had to study him and his learning style. And what I realized was that for his entire life, people said he had a learning disability, but the change occurred when I realized that he really didn't. He just learns differently and slower. I had a teaching disability, and so I had to work on me. And once I learned how to teach him, then Chris absolutely blossomed and exploded. He went from couch to Ironman in 2.5 years. He now did the World Championship. He's done 6 marathons. His speaking ability, he's done 250 speeches between corporate America and nonprofits and schools. And so everything changed when we changed the way we teach them. And what we realized is our kids can learn. They just learn differently and slower, and we have to adapt our teaching styles to maximize their potential.
Yeah, I think, Chris and Nick, I might need you to come to my house and help me with my 16-year-old son, Samuel, because I think I definitely have a teaching disability with him. Chris, you speak so well, and I'll tell you that has been a big challenge with my son, Samuel, especially going through the whole masking thing. He's lost a lot of his speech. But, Chris, my daughter, who brought your successes to my attention, she happens to be your same age, by the way, and she works here in the studio. She shared this video with me of when you finished the Ironman, and the first thing you did was give your girlfriend, who you say was your inspiration, you gave her a promise ring, and she said yes. We're going to watch this.
Nikic, the first person with Down syndrome to finish Ironman Hawaii. You are Ironman Chris. And the dreamer died. And I remember it's his birthday.
Okay, and right after that, you gave your girl a promise ring, and she said yes. Tell me a little bit about her and how she has stood by you throughout your journey to success.
Oh my gosh, I'm shaking all this because I now have goosebumps. Let me just go story there.
Back off, Dad.
So I'm shaking and I'm having goosebumps. The minute that she walked into my life is because she knew that I became the person who did the work, the person who has such uplifting portion that she once said.
Well, we all get shaky and get goosebumps when we do things like complete an Ironman race and then give a promise ring. That was a big day for you, Nick. Over 60% of babies with Down syndrome today don't even make it to birth anymore. It used to be even higher, that number. And that percentage is even higher, unfortunately, in other countries. What's your word to folks out there who face the decision of raising a child like Chris or like our Samuel? What's your word of inspiration to them? What difference has it made in your life and that of your family?
Well, we can't imagine life without Chris. He has been the ultimate joy in our life. He spreads joy and love and hugs everywhere he goes. And everybody who meets him, at first they don't know what to think of him, but once he gives them that big hug, they feel fulfilled. And our kids are just amazing. They're different. And as I said, if we learn how to teach them properly, they can do amazing things, different things than the rest of us. But your life will be full of joy. And you know, the question you had about his girlfriend, he actually met her 5 years ago at the first triathlon they did together. He asked her on a date 5 years ago. Her parents said no because she was too young, but he stayed consistent and persistent, and he won her over.